When my sister finally escaped her abusive husband, my parents locked her out of the house and told her to go apologize to him. The call came at 2 in the morning and my sister sounded like she had been crying for hours. She told me she had finally left her husband after years of emotional abuse, but when she showed up at our parents' house asking for help, they told her divorced daughters ruin a family's reputation and that the only smart decision was to go back and fix her marriage. She said our dad literally closed the door in her face while she was still begging them to listen, so I grabbed my keys and drove 3 hours to pick her up from a bus station where she had been sitting alone in the cold with nothing but a backpack. When I finally saw her, she looked exhausted, like someone who hadn't slept in days, and the first thing she said when she got in the car was that she felt stupid for thinking our parents would help her because they had always cared more about appearances than truth. We were halfway back to my apartment when her phone started ringing over and over from an unknown number. She answered once and immediately hung up. Her ex-husband had somehow found out where she was and kept leaving messages saying she belonged to him and that she couldn't run forever. By the time we reached my building, she was shaking so badly she could barely hold the keys, but we managed to get inside and lock the door. About 10 minutes later, someone started banging on the lobby entrance downstairs, screaming her name loud enough to echo through the hallways. My sister froze because she recognized his voice instantly. I walked down to the intercom and told him to leave, but he just kept yelling that she was his wife and that he had the right to take her home. When I went back upstairs, my sister was standing in the kitchen gripping a frying pan like it was the only thing keeping her from falling apart. Then suddenly the banging stopped completely, and for a moment everything went silent until my phone buzzed with a text from our mother saying we needed to stop encouraging her bad decisions and that if she came home and apologized to her husband they would forgive her. That message broke something in both of us because it proved they were more worried about their image than the man who had been terrorizing their daughter. My sister blocked their numbers right there at the kitchen table and said something I'll never forget. She said the scariest part about leaving her husband wasn't losing her marriage, it was realizing her own parents would rather protect a stranger than their child, and that was the night we both understood that sometimes the family you keep is the one that actually shows up when the rest of them shut the door.